This is his podcast, In the Rye. It's the In the Rye podcast. Curt Fletcher.
Hey everybody, it's episode 40 In the Rye podcast with Curt Fletcher. I'm Curt Fletcher, and I have two guests today. I've got Jon Patterson. That's Jon Patterson. This is Jason Russell. You might remember him from episode 3 and episode 39. And I want to start off the episode by apologizing.
Oh my God.
First of all, I want to say sorry to Jon because when he was first hired at Laughs, I was there, and I didn't think he was going to make it, and he did.
You have to explain what you mean.
I think I talked about it last episode, but I didn't think Jon would be a good server at Laughs because he's a big dude, and it's a fast-paced job, and I just thought, I was like, I don't know about this guy.
And he's a soft talker.
He's a soft talker.
Well, remember, I almost didn't because at the end of 2 weeks, Terry's all, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're probably right.
Really?
Yeah, and then I stayed on for the 2 weeks so I could train somebody, and then 5 years later, I was still
Yeah, that's how it works. I put in my 2 weeks notice there. I don't know how many times. But
How long were you working there before you met me, before I came in?
It's probably a year.
Yeah.
So sorry to Jon. He was a great server. One of the best waitresses we ever had.
They used to call me Big Girl. So I was the only guy for a long time.
Well, that you guys know from episode 39, that's where I met my wife, where Mr. Jonathan works. So he's been a good friend of both of ours, and we'll get into what we think about Jonathan later.
For sure. And I also need to say I'm sorry to Jason.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I called Jason an asshole on the last episode. And
I got my feelings hurt.
It did hurt his feelings. And, okay, so...
Yeah, how are you going to explain this?
I just worded it wrong. He wasn't an asshole. I didn't even talk to him that night that I met him.
We can say this. We can say that something was going on in my life, and I was just keeping it myself.
For sure.
It.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's why I didn't talk to you. You were sitting in the back, and the other two comics were there, and they were like chatting with me and like giving me pointers on stuff because I was brand new to comedy. You were just sitting there by yourself, and I just assumed you're an asshole because you weren't talking to me. The guest set. I was like, I'm doing a guest set at my club. This guy's not talking to me. What a fucking butthole. Why isn't this guy not giving me pointers?
No, I was going through some.
But yeah, you explained to me later on, what was going on and shit, and
now we're best friends.
Now we're best friends.
Yeah,
we're good friends. We've seen each other's nipples 3 or 4 times.
I don't think they should know about that.
Oh, that's true.
Disclaimer.
We'll fix that in post.
So what you have to know about John? Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say.
I love
but
everybody.
I got my feelings.
I do apologize though.
Whatever.
He was on stage, and he said, make sure you tip your wait staff, because some of them were saving up for Rogaine.
I
didn't get a fix.
So it turns out I'm the
He
asshole.
didn't need to point. I was like,
That's what I've noticed here. Like, because I didn't think Jon was going to make it. Then I said the Rogaine thing.
Jason, we just said I was the only male server. There's not any bald women running around.
So So this is what we must say about Jonathan. This guy sitting right here is one of the funniest people I know that will never do stand-up.
Oh, for sure.
Once you get to know him, you understand he's very, 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 very quick. Like with his humor, very quick. Like I'll be going through, he's gotten so close, we've gotten so close that I've made him godfather of my children. Because he's, salt of the earth, good heart, I want somebody like that around for my but I will call him when stuff is going on. Like, I'm just, Jonathan! And I'm just mad, and here he comes with his jokes, and it's like, you son of a... But I'm still mad! And he's got another one. But, okay, you're funny, Jonathan! Yeah, he's very, very, very funny.
Well, most of Jason's phone calls are, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'll have a number 2 and a number 4, like halfway through the conversation.
Or it's not open.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God.
Damn it, it's closed.
Well, Jonathan also is a graphic designer. He's awesome. He does my website. He made my logo, makes my business cards, other stuff too that I can't think of right now.
Well, he
did Jason's websites.
Well, he had a big hand. No, not yet. He's gonna. But he had a big hand in
waiting for the check to clear.
Yeah. He had a big hand in getting my domain name that I love now. So I had this. I think I said it in the last one. Domain name went bye-bye, and I'm on the phone with him, panic mode. And Jonathan's very calm. He's very centered. He's not a screamer. And if he's quiet,
it is funny when he does get mad though.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect it.
Yeah, I've seen him mad a couple of times, or heard him mad. But if he's quiet, that means he's checking on something. Mm-hmm. He's like a master. Okay, it says in 1934 that there were no ducks in Iowa. Like, what? I just checked it out. You can check it out. So
there's one, but he was a piece of shit.
He was a mighty duck.
That was Minnesota.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, everybody makes fun of how I say sorry. My family makes fun of me. You're a Midwesterner, but you don't say sorry.
No, I'm not. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not from Canada like you. I'm like, I can't believe she would do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm spouting off of this other person that let my domain name go. And he goes, no, it can't be. Wait. Okay. You want laugh out loud? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, there's a dot laugh out loud, LOL. I'm like, no, there isn't. He goes, I'm looking right at it. And he goes, hang on, let me check something. And he goes, yeah. I said, buy it, please buy it. So he's the reason why I would have had like, Jason is funny on Tuesdays comedy, .com or something like that. Yeah.
So I got to keep my name, .lol.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's odd because not all the domain registrars have it. It's like certain ones that have it. So.
Yeah, but he found it. So he's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
He's a keeper.
He is. A crypt keeper. Just kidding. Oh, all right. That's it, everybody. That was a great podcast. I just wanted to say sorry to you guys.
That's what he said when he left last time. He's all, you have to come back and do the sorry tour for the next.
No. Everything's fine. And when you're good friends with somebody, they can do something. You're just like, what the? And then I punched a wall to you. Now you're gonna have to come over and drywall that.
Oh, I will. I'm good at that stuff.
I missed a kid, and I wanted to punch a kid, but you can't do that here in Texas.
Yeah, that's too bad. Women, though.
Don't do that.
I know.
You want to be on TMZ?
If it gets my name out there.
Yeah.
You're no comedian.
Should we talk about his new couch? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man, we'd have to zoom the camera over there, and I'm not going to do that. It is a nice couch, though.
But yeah, so, so let's paint the picture. So I knew of him. He knew of me. And I think we were friends on Facebook.
I think so.
And
MySpace. It was a while back.
But you know how,
Friendster?
like guys, when guys will reach out to you, they worked at a club and then, they've left the club and and I was like, Jonathan, who? I don't know. And I'm pretty sure I'm like, Jonathan, you got to forgive me. Where do I know you from? And he probably said a laugh. So I'm like, oh. So then we started just, vaguely keeping in touch. So he moved here the day before, the day of my daughter being born, or the day before. And I was like, well, you should come over to the hospital, and he came, and boom, fast friends from there. Mm-hmm. So is that you met him there?
I met him at Laughs, yeah. But he said he saw me at Looney's one time before that.
Yeah, there's a lot of comics that I didn't realize I knew until I heard some of the jokes working at Laughs.
Yeah. Because he used to live in Colorado Springs.
That's right.
So he went to Looney's.
So you knew Larry? Did you ever meet Larry?
No, never. I didn't know anybody that worked there. We just went as customers.
Well, I've got a funny story about Jason and my nephew being born. Do you remember that?
Oh.
We haven't told that story. So my nephew Hunter, when he was born, the dad, his twin brother sent out an email to everybody and said that the baby was born, and he sent a picture, and it was a black baby. So everybody's laughing and stuff. And then Jason shows up at the hospital.
I do remember. I was like, wait, what?
So then my sister's like, here's the dad.
Yeah, I remember that. Not funny.
It's just like Naked Gun.
Yeah. Nordberg.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And
But,
that was 13 years ago. My
He's
nephew's
13,
13
right?
now, yeah.
Yeah, he's so cool. When we went to Curt's house. Curt.
He's called me Kirk for 13 years.
So we didn't want to. We didn't want to be in Texas for New Year's. So we got done. My family came with me in Little Rock, and I was like, I don't want to go back to Fort Worth for New Year's. She's like, well, where do you want to go? So I almost went to New York. We're gonna stay with my sister in Philadelphia, and then, but we decided to come to your family. Called your family up out of the blue, and your mom was like, "What? You want to? Yeah, I don't care. Whatever. Let me just make sure it's okay with everybody." So we spent, and you were there. Just you didn't live there at that time. You had came home.
Yeah, I was there for Christmas.
And then we went and saw the Muppets.
We sure did. It was the Muppet exhibition.
She always delivers.
In Albuquerque.
Because she's a male person.
She's a I heard some. We'll have to take that out and edit. Because I was like, she's a what?
She. Do you remember the time where I had my mom prank call you at the club?
Vaguely, I remember something in the parking lot of the.
Yeah, so I had my mom call Jason. It was Sunday night. We used to do shows Wednesday through Sunday, and I had my mom call when he was getting paid, and I told her, I said, hey, just mention number 44 or something like that. That was the apartment number at the condo. So she calls, and I'm standing right next to him when she calls, and the look on his face was so good. Like, I didn't have a cell phone that had a camera back then, and I wish I did. Because he holds the phone out, and he's like, some lady's calling and said she met me before here in Albuquerque. She even knows the condo address. So he's, like, freaking out. And I'm trying so hard not to laugh. And she's like, come on, you're not going to come see me? Like, you see me every time I'm here. And he's like, who is this? And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's my mom.
Well, this is the thing. Two weird stories. I had Jelani when he was 4. Let's say 4, on the road with me in St. Louis, and like it's between both shows. They had an unusual gap in this club, so it was like an hour in between shows, maybe an hour and a half. And waitress comes, she goes, or somebody that worked in office, she goes, hey, there's someone on the phone with you. And I go, oh yeah, whatever. And she goes, no, I'm serious. I go, for me? Why are they calling? She goes, I don't know. And I'm still like, all right, this is somebody screwing around. Because the owner was cool. He was a younger guy, and I could see him. So I get on the phone. She's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good. She's like, I just was at the earlier show, and I go, oh, okay. In my mind, I'm like, okay, where's this going? She's like, well, I was wondering if you wanted to, come over maybe later. And I'm like, no, I got my son. This is where she lost all self-respect. She goes, well, he could hang out with my son. I'm like, I gotta go. That's it. When a guy goes, I got my son with me, my little 4-year-old son, she then gets, no, I got daycare.
It was a play date, and you totally missed out on a play date for Jelani. That's not cool.
A lot of those places don't have daycare, Jason.
Yeah.
So that's unique.
And then, I was in Tulsa. You know the house.
Oh, yeah.
So after the show, there was a girl that she was just, a little more feely than I would have cared, and with Fanny. So like, okay, can you? So
they have daycare for her too.
Yeah. She just, you know how people come. I'm sure it's happened to you. They come up and they're like a little bit more touchy than. Well, Jonathan has, but that's a whole. He's got a whole court case over that.
I don't know. It's just you, Jason.
So, so the other two guys, we would go back and watch movies. We all love movies, so we, one would rent some, and we wouldn't tell each other. So it was really cool. Like, okay, what 3 movies are we? And so we would all call our spouses, and then we relocate in the living room. And I just got done talking to her, and I'm I don't know, changing my clothes, and they come knocking, and they're like, hey dude, there's somebody at the door for you. I'm like, whatever, shut up. And then I could see the face of the one comic. He was like, no dude, there's someone at the door for you. I go, what are you talking about? There's nobody at the door for me. So that door in Tulsa, you can see there's like a little window. I could see hair. I could see somebody standing there, but I could just see hair, and it looked exactly like that woman's hair. I'm like, what? How did she find the condo? What are you talking about? And they're like, dude, we didn't say nothing. So I open up the door, and it's Fanny. She surprised me, my wife. Freaked the other
Oh
comics
my
out.
god, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I wish you would have yelled something through the door, like, get out of here, you freak.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
No means no.
So the other comics were kind of like,
Do you have daycare?
yeah. They were like, I could see it looks on their face like, what, did you guys plan this? And I'm like, and then they could see, like, and you know this about Tulsa, I don't know if you know, if there is a 79 East whatever street, there are 3 more 79 because they copy the streets over there.
There's 79 Place. And
So she found it. I still don't know how she found it, but...
I have a hard time finding that place.
Yeah.
I think she has a tracker on Jason.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And then we got into a fight, and the other 2 comics had to. So that was fun for them. I'm sure they still.
But
I'm
what
sure
was the movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, I keep thinking about the movies the whole time.
Care Bears.
Did you ever play a game where it's like you and 2 other comics are watching a movie, and then you guys do a line from that movie in your set later that night?
Oh no.
Oh, that's
I would do
fun.
that.
I did that one of my first times performing at Looney's. We were watching Anchorman.
Anchorman?
Anchorman.
Oh, Anchorman.
So we all had to use a line from Anchorman in
love
our
that.
set.
Have you ever done that one?
Oh, I forgot to do it. So at the end of my set, one of the other the feature act was like, "Do the line." But I was doing my closing joke, so I did it, and then I go, "I'm Curt Fletcher. Go fuck yourselves, Colorado."
Is that an Anchorman?
Yeah.
Shut it. So was that the line you had to do?
We just had to pick any line.
Oh, any line. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the one I picked.
So did you ever do the one where you have to pick a subject, which I'm sure is kind of like the same thing?
Yeah.
All you have to do something on that same subject.
Yeah.
Or you have to do a joke of the other comic.
Oh, yeah. I haven't done that one, but that one would be fun.
That one's always... So comics like to mess with one another.
Oh, for
I don't know
sure.
if you have to stop me if I told this on here before. Did I tell you the one about So the feature was a black guy and the headliner was white, and the feature had a joke in his show where he talked about his aunts always coming over the house, pinching his cheeks and saying, "You're such a cute little nigga. You're such a cute little nigga." Did I ever do that?
You've told me the story, but I don't think you told it on the podcast.
So this story was at a club in Milwaukee. It's since closed. When they told me the story, and every time I retell it, I just wish I could have been there, because either way, there's 2 things that happen here. Either the headliner messed with the feature, or the feature got back. It doesn't matter. So I guess the feature didn't do the joke. And the white headliner goes up, and all week he had been saying, "Give it up for so-and-so. Isn't he a cute little..." And everybody was like, "Ha ha ha, it's funny because he just said it." Well, he didn't do the joke. So the headliner didn't, he wasn't in the room. And he says it. Now that room, even for me to do racial stuff, like they would, it's a suburb of Milwaukee, so they would tiptoe into it. They're like, "All right, we'll laugh." But it was, so I can only imagine these poor white people this white comic walks up and says that. They're like, what did he just say? We need to leave now. So, and I could not, maybe they told me the story, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the feature by the end of the week, hated the headliner. Come on. But if that was just a joke, if that was just him screwing with the headliner,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, I kind of hope for that one.
Yeah, me too.
That's like the one you said about the guy that was talking about like the capri pants, and he called them knickers.
Oh yeah, that story. So there's a white comic, and he's saying we're telling road stories, and he goes, so I was doing this all black college, and he goes, you get there earlier and you walk around campus and you try to just pick on things that you find weird that they find normal, and that'll get laughs. And he goes, everybody like had these pants that didn't all go all the way down to the shoe. It's like they showed like a little part of their shin. It's like, he goes, I know them as a certain pair of pants. So I get out on stage and he goes, hey man, God, it's great to be here. What's with all the knickers? And he goes, one thing I didn't realize is that does not convey the way it should over a PA system in a very large auditorium full of black people. I go, dude, what did you do? He goes, dude, I tried everything. He goes, because 10 minutes in I realized what they think I said. Because he goes, I'm not getting any laughs. He goes, I know how to do black audiences. And then he said, I stopped and said, I think you guys, let me go back. I think you guys think I said something that I did not say. And I
supposed to be Wickers.
Yeah, but that's just, that's a beautiful story. Hey, what's with all the knickers here?
Well, I think that's kind of a regional term too. I don't think.
I know what they are.
Yeah,
when he said it, I knew exactly what. But
I try not to say any N-words at all in my set. Like even when I say the word neighbor, I'm like,
No.
I think you can say it if it's your neighbor you're talking to.
If I call him a neighbor.
No, I'm an advocate for Dave. I'll never remember his name. He did last.
Coulier. Love Dave.
No. David Cross. Finally remember his name. So okay, when I'm on stage, even black people don't think I should. There are some black people that don't think I should say the N-word. Okay, I freely give that to them.
But you can only say it half the time.
Yeah.
You just say,
folks, I'm half black. I don't know if that comes across on camera. So
isn't he a cute little girl?
Kurt's got a filter. It's all right.
So yeah, get that off so they can see it. So we talked about it in the last. We won't go there. But if it's a joke, then sorry, you shouldn't have to apologize for it. Like Tracy Morgan had to apologize. He was at a show and he said something in his character. How his outrageous, over the top character. If I thought my son was gay, I would stab him in the face or something like that. And he had to apologize because that's when 30 Rock was on. So
Dirty Rock.
Whole different show. That's a documentary.
So prequel to Breaking Bad.
So David Cross, I give kudos to. Now I will before I tell this, there would still be black people to go, no, he shouldn't have done that joke. But I'm a comic. I'm sorry. He was trying to make. So he starts talking about. He goes, this is Last Laugh 05 on Comedy Central, and he goes, oh, the video's coming in from the Katrina looters. He goes, that's good. He goes, all the videos coming in. We're arresting the looters. He goes, they should be locked up. He goes, lock the looters up. He goes, yeah, let's lock up the looters and not lock up. And then he starts to name off all of the white collar crimes. Bernie Madoff. I think he finished with Bernie Madoff, but he named, every time he named him, he's getting applause. Audience understands what he's doing. And at the end, he goes, yeah, let's not lock them up. Let's get the nigger with the Doritos. That is for a white man to say that. But if you don't understand, if you think he just is trying to say, he's not. He's trying to make a point.
Right.
He's trying to make a valid point.
And that's an easy one to take out of context.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But there would still be, and I, as a half black man, I still respect any black person that says, I don't care, I don't want to hear the word. I respect that, but I'm going to lean more towards being on David Cross's side, saying no, he's telling a joke. And not only that, a very well-written joke, and he's trying to make a point. Like, you guys are worried about people stealing, radios, and these guys are destroying people's lives. From that point on, David Cross is a god.
So, David Cross, one of my friends went and saw him in Denver one time, and he has an interpreter at his show.
Yes.
And so he stops the show at one point, and he talks to the interpreter, and he's like, there's no way you're telling all of my jokes, right? And the guy's like, no. And he's like, so what's a joke that you just told or something, like to the crowd? And he does the Jew joke where he's like, this Jewish kid asks his dad for $50. His dad's like, $40? Why do you need $30?
That's what the interpreter told him? Oh my God. That's beautiful.
Has he ever told you his Josh Blue story?
No.
With the lady in the audience?
He might have been there that night.
Well, I work with Josh. It's funny because I worked with him. Well, I did 2 nights with him while he was... Before he won, he was on the show, and it was
because you came to Dallas when I was working with him. I remember.
Yes.
I don't know if you were there for this show or not, but this lady yelled out in the middle of his set. She goes, "I love you, Josh," and he goes, "Thank you, sir." That was fucking hilarious. And everybody laughs, and he moves on with his set. And then I went out there to set up his merchandise for him, and there's a guy in the lobby, and he goes, "Did you see what happened in there?" And I was like, "No, what happened?" He's like, "Josh called my wife sir." I was like, "Oh yeah, that was hilarious." And he's like, "Yeah, she doesn't think so." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what to do because she's in the bathroom right now, crying."
Oh my God.
And freaking out. And I was
I have to drive home with her.
Yeah. And I was like, "Dude, I don't know what to tell you." It was a joke. And he's like, "I know. That's what I'm trying to tell her." And then I was like, "I'll say something to Josh, but I don't know how he's gonna respond." So I tell Josh when he comes out, and I was like, "Hey, that lady's super upset and whatever, and this is her husband over here," and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then so he's selling this stuff, and then I see her come out, and she's pissed, and I see the husband. He's making eye contact with me the whole time, what the fuck do I do? And then she goes over and says something to Josh. I can't hear it, but Josh just goes, "Sir, calm down."
Oh my God.
And she just stormed out of there, and she was so pissed. And the husband looking at me, and I was like, "Sorry, dude."
Oh, that is beautiful. That is exactly how you shut a person down that walks out and is mad over something like that. She doesn't. She
was in the back. She didn't even look like a dude or anything like that. He obviously couldn't see her.
No, but in her mind, listen, it could be one of these things where he just so happened to call a sir that, and then maybe she's been mistaken for a sir over the phone or whatever, and he just lit the last match. Yeah. But too bad. I don't my brother. I love him. He just told me he had COVID. He has no sense of humor, and I love you, bro, but you just don't. What was the joke? Okay, my buddy calls me. He goes, "Dude, so I was driving my girlfriend home the other night, and my buddy, you know who I'm talking about, but maybe you don't. Anyways, he would call me and
need more info.
He would sell book jokes like they were, it was that was his thing. He loved that.
Yeah.
So he'd go, "Dude, I'm driving my girlfriend." I knew he's not driving his girlfriend. So I'm driving my girlfriend home the other day, and before she gets out of the car, she goes, "You're a pedophile." He goes, "Well, that's a big word for a 9-year-old." instantly laugh. He goes, "That's not funny. This is my brother." He goes, "That's not funny." I go, What are you talking about? It's not funny. What are you? And right there, if you have to explain past the punchline why it's funny, I'm okay with somebody that doesn't understand a joke. Like,
oh, for sure.
That's different than, "That's not funny. You can't." His thing is, what if you're telling a joke about rape, molestation, and there's someone in the audience? Folks, we cannot.
Well, there's always going to be somebody. Any subject.
If there's 300 people at your show,
there's going to be somebody in the audience. He goes, "Well, what about them?" And I can't get him to understand that. I can't worry about him if they've walked into the comedy club. It's just an unsaid rule. You're going to see some things that are probably touch your life, or and you just he's relentless with the Michael Jackson jokes. And I love. That's not you. I'm sorry. That's.
I was gonna say I've never had.
I feel attacked.
No. It's my other buddy, Johnny.
He's the one with the Swayze jokes.
Roadhouse.
Swayze jokes. Roadhouse. And they're funny.
In the corner.
They're funny. They're not. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, but I'm sorry. He put him. Shut it. If he put himself in that.
If he put himself.
If he puts himself in that realm, then you know what? You get jokes written about you. I have no problem with that. Michael Jackson.
Because I love comedy, but there's sometimes where I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
It's fine. If you don't think it's funny, don't laugh. Don't go see that guy again if you didn't like it that much. But
here's my. People say, "Well, who's your favorite?" I go, "Okay, well, of course, I start with Don Rickles. He's one of my all-time. But then the guys that are working right now, there's 4 of them. I think there's 5, but Anthony Jeselnik is one. Mm-hmm. Corey Holcomb is another. David Cross. David Cross is a little bit and of course Dave Chappelle. All these guys possess one quality that a comic should have. They're so over the top. You have to know they're joking. Mm-hmm. It's Corey Holcomb has a joke about taking his girlfriend to get an abortion, and he gets back in the car and he's playing some murder this song, and she's like, "I don't want to be hearing all about murder right now. Turn that off." And he's like, "Oh, well, you're the only murderer in the car." That is so over the top. He did not take his woman, and you could see a woman getting okay, but you have to relax. It's
not like he called her sir.
Yeah. Here. I don't think you were around when Janet was managing in South Bend, Indiana.
Jackson?
I've never been to South Bend, Indiana.
Okay, so it used to be a Funny Bone. There used to be a woman named Janet. This guy...
Reno?
No. South Bend, Indiana. What are you saying, Reno? What?
Aren't the Jacksons from Gary, Indiana?
Gary, Indiana.
I was saying
so it could be Janet.
Janet Reno.
Oh, my God.
I'm just naming off Janet.
I knew that this would go... Once these two get rhythm going, they feed off of one another.
Like Janet Jackson. Rhythm Nation.
Is that the end?
We have a
you can't say N-words.
We have a group text going, and I'll get 9 once one of these sends something to the group text. Oh my God! I wish I could show you them back and forth.
Well,
it's all funny.
To be honest, because when I started working at Labs, I just got divorced, I had bankruptcy and all that. It was the perfect job for me because of that.
Oh yeah.
Because that group, especially when I started, that's all we did was just the whole night. If somebody heard us talking to each other, they'd be like, "Man, those people hate each other." And it was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
They called me big girl. That got back to my mom.
Oh, really?
So for Christmas, she had this little waitress doll, and it had a big girl she painted with a Sharpie. Because the family thought it was funny too.
You have to tell the story about your jersey and your mom in the elevator. Oh, this is beautiful. This is like one of those stories. You're like, what?
Mm-hmm. So I'm a huge Hawks fan. I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. I had a Dominique Wilkins jersey that I got to meet him and got signed, and I had it framed on my wall in my apartment in Albuquerque. Well, I had a window I left unlocked. They think some kids broke in. They stole the jersey, stole a jar of change. stole a bunch of my roommate's stuff. And I telling the cop what was stolen. He's like, well, it sounds like there's some kids. And somebody's like, well, I was like, Atlanta Hawks jersey in Albuquerque. It can't be that hard to find.
Yeah.
Because I'm like the only Hawks probably fan. Well, there's another one, Curt. There's another one in Albuquerque, which is probably
a friend of mine.
So I didn't think anything of it. I thought I was just gone. I was kind of bummed because I actually got to meet him to sign it, so it kind of meant more to me. Mm-hmm. So, like a year or two later, her mom's in a hospital in Colorado Springs, not Albuquerque, and she's in an elevator, and this kid's wearing a Dominique Wilkins jersey with an autograph on it. And my mom goes, "Wow, my son had a jersey like that." And she never said anything. The kid just goes, "I've never been to Albuquerque." And as soon as the door opens the elevator, he darts out. And my mom just looks at the other lady in the elevator with her. She goes, "Did I ever say Albuquerque?" And they're like, "No."
Boom.
Like, that was my jersey.
Yeah.
That was... Oh,
that's how Ed Gein got busted for murder. The cop came to
He wearing a jersey in the elevator?
Yeah, he was wearing a Dominique Wilkins jersey in Wisconsin.
You're not from around here, are you?
What the fuck? You pulled out an Ed Gein reference?
Well, no, because the cops went to interview Ed Gein because the little shop that he used to hang out with all the time, the lady was missing, and so they went to talk to him about it because he was there all the time, and they went to ask him. They're like, "Hey, we need to ask you some questions about so and so," and he goes, "I don't know anything about any murder," and they're like, "Well, we didn't say anything about murder, so." Don't mind if we take a look.
You're double parked.
Can we look at that fucking lamp that's made out of a leg over there?
You grow up in Wisconsin learning who Ed Gein is. I know Ed Gein.
I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Dude, Wisconsin. So the motto here in Texas is "Don't mess with Texas."
He's the prequel to Jeffrey Dahmer, or
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So the motto here is "Don't mess with Texas." I think it should be "Don't mess with Wisconsin." Because they have more serial killers than anybody.
Ed Gein, and then you got a guy
You should make that T-shirt and sell it at your show.
maybe it's the cheese curds.
I did not know what cheese curds were when I left Texas.
Are you shitting me?
Or I left Wisconsin. I was 35.
Cheese curds are fantastic.
Well, the people down here were like, "Dude, do you like cheese curds?" I'm like, "What the hell are those?" And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't. What are you talking about? Cheese curds?" You're like, "Whatever, dude. Do you like them or not?" I'm like, "I don't know what cheese curds are." So I didn't grow up eating cheese curds. Never knew what they were until I moved down here. But yeah, they're huge in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, they're good.
But yeah, so I lived my last apartment before I moved down here was
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Near in a car. I would take 2 minutes from my house. If you walked his, it would take maybe 10 minutes. That's how close I lived to that freak.
That apartment cost him an arm and a leg.
Oh my god!
He worked at a chocolate factory.
They had to tear the chocolate factory down.
Really?
And I always wanted to know, did he tear it down because the owner's like, "Well, I was about staying here, but we got to go." What I think is, like, let's say you own a business and some guy, works there. He's like a freaking, he's like one of these serial killers, movies and legends, all blah blah blah. Would you want to keep, because you're going to have a stream of people for the rest of that existence. So they tore the apartment down. Like, you can't just tear everything down, start over. So yeah, they tore that chocolate factory down.
That's too bad. I'll have to play a song after the podcast. I think you'll like it.
The Ed Gein song? I think I've heard it.
No, it's called Jeffrey and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my god.
There's a.
He knew it was coming too. He was like,
I don't think he did. I don't know if he knows the song.
That's a real song?
There's a band called Macabre.
It just makes me think of the Johnny Depp one with the little dolls catching on fire.
Oh, yeah.
What? I don't know that one.
You didn't see the remake with the Johnny Depp playing Willy Wonka?
Papa?
Oh, yeah.
And he has a little intro, and it's got the little, like, puppets, and then they're going around singing the nice song, and they just start on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this band called Macabre, though, they do all their songs about serial killers. Oh, they did an entire album about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jesus.
That's awesome.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. It's great, too. I think you'll really like it.
I have this thing where it's like, I won't go watch a movie. I won't watch any show. Like, there's 2 movies of Jeffrey Dahmer or something. And
there's one on Hulu that's actually pretty funny.
It's a musical.
Because... Well, because there's some right now there's some guy at home that's the world is against him, and he's looking at, man, I can go out like these guys. They'll make movies about me. So I don't know. I think making a documentary about something like that, letting people know that there's, because I don't know if you guys know, Conrad Phone, that was his name. He was running naked, bleeding from his derriere, and cops stopped him. Like, what the hell is going on here? And Jeffrey Dahmer comes running up, and and he can't speak English. So.
Derriere is a pretty common phrase in Wisconsin.
Derriere. Yeah. Well, I forgot. I always think I'm on radio when I.
He's lactose intolerant.
And he was able to talk the cops into letting. Now, everybody in Milwaukee at the time was like, we want to try to run down the street naked, bleeding from our butts, and have. What do you mean that he should have went to jail? Period.
Oh, yeah.
He was
Only
in
there was
public.
a sign.
And he was young too.
He was
really young.
He's in public naked. You take him. That's what do you mean? Ugh. So
Yeah, because he killed him, and it
on the
was
night?
his cousin or his brother, right? Also,
who?
the kid.
Oh yeah. He killed a relative of his. Yeah. Oh yeah. Took a head to. Why are we talking about serial killers?
Because you're from Wisconsin. There's no serial killers from where John's from. The only thing,
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Forrest Gump in Savannah, Georgia.
Listen, I love it's my home. Milwaukee will always, as the number one question the comedian gets asked is where you're from. I start with Milwaukee, live in Texas. But
I had some butthole steal my Milwaukee Brewers hat and give it to you because they thought it was yours.
What?
One time. It wasn't a butthole. Sam Adams, remember him?
I remember
He was a comedian.
Yeah.
So one night we were doing like karaoke or something like that, and I couldn't find my Brewers hat. And then the next day, I asked Sam, I was like, "You didn't happen to see my Brewers hat last night, did you?" And he's like, "Is it yours?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I thought it was Jason's because he's from Milwaukee."
Who likes the Brewers?
Yeah. I was like, "Dude, no one from Milwaukee likes the Brewers."
Jason doesn't know what sports is.
So, no. When I was younger, I was a Brewers fan, and I don't know if... Now, this is a little bit sports talk from a guy who...
Do you know what's on the logo?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Yeah, hold on. That's what I'm getting to. So, did not realize till I was a serious Brewers fan, got to meet, went on the field, picture day, took it with Robin Yount, Gorman Thomas. Those were the legends. Raleigh Fingers. I don't know where those pictures are. So, it was a huge... when they went to the World Series, Harvey Keene, the manager?
Harvey Dent?
No, Harvey Keene.
Two-Face.
I don't even remember. That was when I was like 2 years old.
So
Harvey Dent was Two-Face in Batman.
Yeah.
So I did not know until I was an adult what somebody, I think I was on the road actually, and a comic said, he goes, "Man, you guys got the Brewers." I go, "Oh, yeah, I'm not a big fan." He goes, I was when I was younger. He goes, "Best logo ever." I go, "Yeah, it's a catcher's glove." He goes, "Well, it's not just a catcher. You know what else it is?" I go, "No, it's a catcher's glove." He goes, "Are you being serious?" I go, "I don't know. It's a glove." He goes, "Dude, there's an M and the B in it." I go, "No, there's not." And we looked it up. I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me."
That's the proper way to say it. There's an M and a B, because if you say it's got a BM in it, it's got a different
I know the way.
connotation.
Okay, so then somebody in their infinite wisdom, and there's many people in Milwaukee that have made mistakes, like the 100 Harley Davidson year anniversary. They're having this huge, like all city bash. There's parties everywhere, just bikers coming in from all over the world. And they're going to have a surprise guest at a concert. This is going to be like the ending big... Who did they bring in? All these bikers like, who is it?
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Britney Spears?
Elton John! That's
Candle in the wind.
Who? What? So go to Milwaukee.
He's a big Braves fan.
Well, yeah, they were. So, you have the most iconic emblem, like, for your team. Somebody at that team goes, "All right, well, we should redo the image of Brewers." Okay, fine. I don't know if you're gonna even try to come near that because it looks like a glove, but then it has the M and B in there. You can't. And what do they come up with? Just the name Milwaukee Brewers. That's their emblem.
Well, they had like the M and like
Shaft
some
of wheat.
stupid diamond around it
Yeah.
or something like that. Like,
Oh my god! And then now this, you guys.
But they do it to sell more stuff. But even as a graphic designer, I've always loved that logo.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you don't know this. So when I would go back to Milwaukee, and I still will, like I used to do it for Delani because he wasn't a big fan, but he liked the color. He liked, and now when we moved down here, we kind of feel like, well, that's our little way of, if we wear this, and I never wear anything sports, but so I would go back to the stadium and buy stuff. Probably more than half of the store is all of that old emblem.
yeah. Well, the old jerseys are the best too. The
Yes.
one with the stripes. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the Hawks did it too. They went to this like spread eagle logo for, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years. Then they went back to this one. That I always
That
loved.
logo always confused me when I was a kid because I didn't realize. Because I would always look at it the wrong way, looking at it like right to left, like there was something like eating something. And I was
Well,
like,
usually I
what
get,
is
is that Thundercats?
that? Yeah.
Yes.
If I would have said, what is that?
But I kind of like that. I like things that make you think.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Chicago Bulls logo upside down?
Yeah.
No.
Looks like a robot reading a book.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I get tuned into one I'm not. I don't care about sports, but I get tuned into one. Like I was a huge Jordan fan. I'm a LeBron fan.
So, you know, you played football in high school? He was a half black.
You're like, okay, so you said you went to the club in Looney's, right?
Yeah.
So this other comic, he's passed away. Good guy. But him and I were going. I had a photo shoot, and Larry from Looney's set it up. Somebody he knew. So
Did you say photo shoot?
photo shoot.
Sorry.
Sorry. You're not the only one that has a problem with the way I say sorry. My beautiful wife is like, sorry. Anyways.
Every time you apologize, the
phone
thing
comes
comes up.
The
What can I help you with,
The
Siri?
What was that?
Are you looking for the Midwest?
So,
you
yeah,
like
you
the
know
cheese
what I
curd?
hate? I hate it when somebody come up to me after the show and they'll go, "You're from the Midwest, aren't you?" I'm like, ugh. What? Really? Like you can't say no. They
When
know.
I say I grew up in Georgia, people kind of look at like, you don't have an accent. I was like, well, my parents are from Cheyenne.
I was born in Germany.
I was born in Germany.
Have you been on the Autobahn?
Yes. I wasn't driving those.
How fast did whoever drove go?
Oh, that was kilometers.
That's on my bucket list. I want to go.
Because yeah, the Autobahn was right outside the base.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
You know what the Autobahn is?
Mhm. I heard it's harder to get your driver's license in Germany too.
It's because they started drinking at like 14. But we used to have, I didn't know it until I got to college. So we used to have these like alerts on the base where we had to stay inside for like 2 or 3 days at times. And you'd have the MPs, the military police, and the Polizei, the German police, which all have BMWs, which is kind of cool. But we had these alerts, and I never really thought twice about it. I thought it was just some kind of like drill or something they did, because this was the early 80s, so it's still a Cold War. I go to college, and they start talking about the Pershing missiles or nuclear missiles, and I'm like remembering back to my dad's patches on his uniform was a Pershing missile. I never knew we're sitting on a base that had nuclear missiles.
Oh wow!
So then I think back to the having those lockdowns. I'm like, holy crap!
Oh yeah. So what they were testing then when they had the lockdowns, or they?
No,
were...
I think some of it probably is just test for alertness, you know, because in the middle of the Cold War, I'm sure they did stuff. I don't know if it was actual, like something happened and they were responding to it. I don't think so, but.
You don't have any family there, right? You guys were just born there. Once you left, you guys were gone.
Yeah, my parents were stationed there for 5 years in the late 70s. Then we went back when I was 5 for 3 years.
Yeah, I think one of my cousins was born in Germany too.
So you have dual citizenship, right? You could
I
go there.
could have applied for it. I think I had to do it before I was 18 though.
So now you'd just be looked at. Well, that sucks.
As a foreigner. 9.
I was born here.
Did you finish the photo shoot story?
No, I did not.
Shoot.
So this goes to him. He's exactly like Larry and his son Lauren. They're just ball busters.
Big time.
They and if they didn't bust your balls, then you probably knew they didn't like you.
Yeah, we brought up Larry on the last podcast when we were talking about Jeff Jones.
But it's only fun if they roll with it. Like somebody gets offended, that's.
Oh no!
Stop.
Well,
Like,
you know,
that's
they're
no fun at all.
kind of in a cool position because they're the club owner and the owner's son. So you know, you even if you didn't like it, you go. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because they do it so much. Then you're at the condo with the other comics doing it the whole week too. Like even if you don't know the dude, like
Okay,
you're there,
so
like
this comic and I left. He was going to hang with me, and you know how you park under a car park, and you know it has a post to keep it up. Well, I turned and just destroyed my fender. I was, I'm very anal about my cars, and I don't park next to people. So I was, to say the least, very, very livid by the time I got to the club. Didn't matter. I could have walked in with an arm ripped off. Larry and Lauren are going to bust my... So, I'm just mad. I'm in my comic buddy. He's very, he was a good guy. And he's just like, well, later on he goes, I didn't know what to say. You were like very pissed off. And he goes, I could understand. So... Larry's like, or Lauren, I don't know which one. He's like, so you're gonna go down to the main intersection here, and you're gonna turn. He goes, you're gonna turn right and then go all the way down, and he goes, now there's gonna be a light post there. You're gonna make it, and I went, you mother, Larry, what the fuck? Like, care less. This is the way he is. I'll call him livid, and he'll wait for the joke, and then and I'm like, oh.
But if they know you, they know it calms you down too.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it does. Because I called him I think 2 weeks ago mad about something, and he just keeps going. And I want to say, Jonathan, do you understand that I'm mad? Yeah, no, I don't care.
I'm trying to be angry here. It's probably where you got Angry Man from.
He centers me.
We should write a movie called Angry Man about Jason.
Oh, you'd have a lot. Just on the way here, oh my God!
Halfway through, it just stops.
We're moving to LA, and my wife is terrified because I partake in what's called road rage.
Oh God!
I just had an incident on the way here. You know how when you come off the freeway, and there's two lanes that. Well, this guy he cuts right in front of me. I'm like, okay, but then he's turning right that first. I'm like, dude, I'm still going 30 miles an hour. So.
Now, this is a frustrating place when you first drive here, like when I
yeah.
first moved here, because you get the parts of the highway where it's kind of like a game show. Like, we take route number 1, 2, or 3, and they're all like they look like they're going to the same place.
Yeah, and they're not.
But then all of a sudden, one like curves off, and you got these under the overpass loops.
Yep.
I didn't understand that. I'm in the wrong lane. I want to go left. I'm like, wait, what are they doing?
Now, hang on. So when I first came down here, so for those of you from the Midwest, you don't know. So let's say you have a bridge that is a freeway. You get off the freeway and you want to turn left to go underneath the freeway. Well, you have to sit for that light, and then when you get to underneath the freeway, you want to go. Let's say you want to make 2 lefts. You have 2 lights. Down here, they make use of a space that's just sitting there. They put what's called a roundabout. I don't know what they call it.
Turnaround.
Turnaround. You can just take this lane and go underneath the bridge. There's no light for your first turn. Now, you might have to wait if there's traffic coming for your second one, but it's just genius. And when I moved
once you
down
know
here,
how it works.
yeah.
Because roundabouts are confusing to Americans in general, but
no, but you're right. If you get on that and you don't know what it was, you're like, whoa,
Big Ben kids.
yeah, Parliament, Big Ben.
But
I know you're not a big sports fan, but
no. So Fanny's father comes down here for the first time, and he goes, man, a lot of tailgating here. And we go, yeah. And he goes, you guys too. And we're like, what? He goes, yes, you guys. He goes, like, you get it like 10 times since I've been here. I go, really? And sure enough, I was. And now that's all I see. And if you see, I would love.
It's really bad before the college football games.
Why?
Tailgating.
God. See what I mean?
Sports game.
See? Right there. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
That's fine. We got to wrap it up anyway.
Little jokes.
We're almost at an hour.
You should put the microphone to this so they can hear his...
A boom mic.
Oh, yeah, the neighbors. He
It's
lives.
like the
He
monster,
lives
dude. That
underneath
kid is-
Noah's Ark.
I told him that kid's gonna grow up and be a lineman in football because he doesn't have light feet at all.
Have you ever seen them? What we're referring to is...
Yeah, we should go out there and see if they come out. See what they look like.
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
Let's go pull the fire alarm.
We're referring to his upstairs neighbors make a lot of noise.
The fire alarm went off here one night for like an hour. So it went off long enough that they're like, oh, this might not be a test. So everybody like goes outside.
That's true. At what point do you go,
Yeah.
you should probably get us
When you start hearing sirens, you're like, all right.
Well, that was it. So we go outside and everybody's like standing on the other side of the main road here. And there's no fire trucks, no police, no nothing coming. I'm like, do they know it's a fake call and they just can't turn it off? Or
But you didn't smell
they
any
just really
smoke or
bad.
see anything?
There's no smoke coming out.
Hey, it's the little PA announcement here. It is serious. When Jelani and I, when he was little, alarms started going off, and I was up, thank God, but I was in my bedroom, and I heard an alarm, and I come out, and I can see smoke coming in from the door. I'm like, what the So I get him out of the car, and it was winter, get him in the car, I get the neighbor's kids in the car, and I went back in for something, I don't know what it was, and somebody left something on in the apartment downstairs. I think it was like a 6 apartment, and you go inside to go in your door, and I know I was covered with something wet because somebody said, hey man, if you're gonna go back in, you gotta, and we turned the faucet on, and I got it. So I inhaled enough smoke that I was coughing for 2 hours. I could not stop coughing. So there is no, you won't even see the fire by the time that smoke gets to you. So it's good that you left. But have you seen them? Have you met them?
No. I imagine just like a kid.
He does
like
drawings of
concrete
what he
sheet.
thinks they look like.
Just giant feet, like 3 foot tall. With like,
Oh, I just saw it in a
Shack
quiet
shoes.
place, so yeah, maybe you have one of
Was
those
it quiet?
upstairs. No. Quiet Place 2, I mean.
Oh, more quiet than the first one, all right.
yes.
Yeah.
It's just nothing for an hour and a half.
You got me again.
I've talked to Curt about this. Yeah. So I've talked to Curt about this. I think somebody else brought it up, but we were talking about Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
They should promote it as a sequel, like Groundhog Day 2.
Oh, yes.
And when you go,
yes, that'd be hilarious.
the film just starts playing.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be so funny.
Be like, what?
The Sonny
you're
and
gonna
Sonny and
think
Cher song kicks on right away.
Because you're going to go on your phone and you're like, are they playing the first one first? Or because you're going to go through all those things in your head. Then you realize,
This is an awesome thing to do. I'm giving this to your audience. This is a gift from me to them. So let's say you want to mess with somebody in public, but you don't want them to know you're messing with them. You got to do this. It's got to be at least 3 people for this to work properly. So, and you should always have an exit route. You know, don't do it where you're walking past somebody, because that you should be in a car. 3 people, you drive up and you say, hey, you guys, thanks, man, I found it. And just give them, like, look at them sincerely, like, thanks, man, and then drive off. You will watch them, all 3 or more. We did it to a group of 10 women the other day, and all you see is, did you help him? Did you help him? I don't know. And 2 of them will walk away going, well, I don't understand. Who helped him? Why did you think we helped him? Oh, it's beautiful.
when we were in high school, we used to do that like in the mall, where you get in the mall, like in the food court, and then you start like, and you get your friends to all look up. And after you start it, you start like a chain reaction, because people will start like, what are they looking at?
The mall is the best place to mess with people.
Oh, my friend Johnny Beaner, I don't know if you've had him on.
I haven't. I should.
I'll get his number.
What is stage name?
Johnny Beaner. He's a white guy.
Need to get him to Albuquerque.
He like, he loves it when I walk into stuff in the mall. You know those metal frame, like, they put in front of the store?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but they keep other advertisements in there. So when that thing drops, they just go.
Yeah.
So he goes, dude, I don't know how you keep a straight face. So I did it one, I don't know where we were working together. I did one. It was loud. And the thing is he goes, how do you not laugh? I go, well, let me tell you how I don't laugh. Because I'm a grown-ass man acting like a child, so I have to play it off like I really did. And the women come out, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't see her. Like, oh, no, we always talk to our boss and say, somebody's going to walk into those things. But this is all you
Then they go, you're from the Midwest, aren't you?
I'll give you that one. That was funny. But this is all you hear off in the distance. And this is when I almost start to laugh. You hear him laughing, but this is his laugh. And the third time I have to get away because I'm going to laugh because I know he is dying laughing over there. But yeah. And then my beautiful wife, we were down here once. She goes, you know what you haven't done in a while? And I go, what? She goes, you haven't walked into anything. I've got
Fucking COVID.
I've got to keep... No. Stop it.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
I had a friend who, he just didn't give a shit about anything. And we were at the mall one time, and there's this girl. She was probably a teenager, and she had, like, big boobs. She was with her mom. And he just walks up and he goes, nice.
Wait, he knew her?
No.
Oh, my God. Nice. But make sure he's pointing him right.
Oh, yeah.
So, when I moved to Albuquerque, I lived with my cousin.
That is wrong.
My cousin Devin's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years older than me. So we go to Cracker Barrel. It's a restaurant.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So we're there and we're like finishing. We're just kind of talking. And I guess they're busy because they're trying to like turn the table. And they kept going, oh, you pay up front. We're like, yeah, we know. And after like the third time, we're like, I guess we need to get out of here. So we started going up there. And my cousin just, because my dad's side of the family is like this. So my cousin just goes, and I told you, don't touch anything in the store this time. And I'm like, I hate you. You're not my real father. And I just like walked out this door. And he said he had to keep a straight face because the poor girl, the cashier's like she's doing math in her head. Like, they're about the same age. There's no way that.
My cousin Devin used to do that when we go to the mall too. He's like a few years younger than me. He's like, will you stop molesting me when we're at home?
Oh my God. Well, there was I don't know who this was, but it was one of the funniest things I've ever, no, I'll give you, okay, there's this guy named Bill.
Burr?
No, what's his name?
Cosby?
Not Bouchard.
Clinton.
No. I don't know what his name is.
Chelsea Clinton.
Mr. Bill?
He was one of the funniest comics off stage. He would not stop, and it was just cracking me up. It's a beautiful day. We're walking in this grocery store. There's this old woman in front of us, and he didn't give me like the tap, like watch it. He just goes, "Come on, lady, pick it up." And I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And she turns around like, and she goes, "Oh, you want to go faster, huh? Well, get in the cart. I'll push you." So we start talking. It turns out she was 81. She had just went whitewater rafting 4 years before that. Like, she's one of these ladies that is funny, just full of life. Like, so he got off, but I was like, dude, what are you doing? I go, I'm for messing with people, but Jesus, like, you didn't even give me any warning. He goes, that's the best way to do it.
It's all about the reaction.
I agree.
So we're in agreement.
Yeah. Okay, we need to wrap this up again.
Hey, I don't think it's, they're going to be like, who's this Jonathan guy? You got to look at the camera so they can see who you are.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to have Jonathan promote his stuff that he does.
Do it.
I don't need to promote it.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
No, he doesn't. That's true.
He's
Would
not
you
a
like
comic.
to, though?
He's not a comic.
Well, no, he's
I know.
a
He's very
designer.
good.
He does stuff.
He's very good.
He's amazing.
I got more than I need right now, to be honest with you.
So you're saying if comics contact Curt, you wouldn't want to do their website?
No.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Disgusting. I wouldn't either.
I've known quite a few people that thought that might be a gold mine.
Yeah, no. when I printed a shirt, what? Wait, say it again.
I've known quite a few people that thought, hey, I'm going to do websites for comics. I could try to make a living at that.
No. We're not the best people to work with. Some of us are night owls. Some of us are more anal than others.
It's a tough career. I'll give it to you guys. I respect the crap out of it, but especially people starting out. Unless you had a sugar daddy.
Yeah, I got I always pay it. I try to do what I can, whatever I one of the things I lend myself and my number. I will give my number to open micers because I had way too many people help me in the beginning. Like famous comics sat down with me. Rondell Sheridan once sat down with me, and I know he just wanted to go, and I just would assault him. The guy who passed away, he accidentally overdosed from New York. He was on all the roasts. Greg Giraldo. Greg Giraldo is one of the sweetest, kindest persons. Even people at the dinner table were like, Jason, leave him alone. He'd laugh, he'd look over, and he'd look right back at me and like, okay, what were you saying? And I knew, and I'm not saying at that time, but I know now that he'd rather talk shop than, do all that other stuff. So, when you're starting out, you have nowhere to go. You have no idea where to go. I mean that metaphorically, like, what? How do I, you want to be funny, you want to stand up in front of people, but it is not. It is. Why did you get in comedy? Have you told this? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've told this on your own?
Oh, yeah, I did a solo podcast about it.
Nice.
Because you wanted to get in a pizza costume and go up when Scotty Goff was on stage and just stand next to him.
No, that was Mark that I stood next to. Scotty was on stage and I just walked through the crowd. But pizza costume? Yeah, so my friend Mark Shooter,
I wish I could have filmed Scotty's reaction there, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sad not to get into comedy, but here I am.
Well, with Mark, I told him we're doing open mic and he was trying out some new material. And he was my writing partner. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I went on stage behind you and I just did like a thumbs up or thumbs down to the crowd after your jokes? He's like, oh, that'd be funny. But I didn't tell him I was going to be wearing a pizza costume.
It was just like a pizza slice, like a wedge.
That is hilarious.
So I went up there, and people are laughing already, and then Mark didn't look back at me yet. And then they keep laughing, and they're like, and then he's like, what the fuck's going on? And then he looks back. He's like, you fucking dick.
So in Milwaukee, there's this weird place, and you got to know a password to get in. It's called Safe House.
What's the password?
Yeah, well, if you didn't know the password, they make you all do all these weird...
Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that far from it.
213.
So,
Cheese curd.
I'm going to leave so you two can do this all night. Cheese curd what?
Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley. Oh my god. That was worse than
Aaron Rodgers wants out.
So... if you wanted to do stand up at the Comedy Cafe, you had to go at Safe House and do it. It was this really cool.
You had to order lunch first.
Yeah. So Tom Clark. Have you ever had Tom Clark?
Yeah, I haven't had him on. I love Tom Clark though.
Tom Clark and I were.
You would love Tom Clark, I think.
Yeah. Very funny. He's
super funny guy. Huge Milwaukee Brewers fan too.
And yes, his grandpa, who he was raised by, got to throw out a pitch.
Nice.
Yeah. So we would do these banter.
Trouble with the leg kick.
Wow, dude, that was... You got to tell that. No, yeah. I don't know. I think he would win. That's not Tom Clark's story, but yours is and mine is. So he goes, it'd be funny if you heckled me. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. So this is a very intimate room, like no bigger than this kitchen. That's how big this... And you'd watch a guy, two guys, and then you'd be like, oh, God, I'm up. And then 10 people would get up. Well, that's the whole audience. Like, there'd be one person. Because it was kind of this weird, cool place. People would filter through. One guy would be doing magic show. Another one over here. The whole wall would open up if you got right answers. It was this really cool place called the Safe House. Yeah, it's for spies. It's like... And you leave, you have to go through this door that looks like it's to nothing. And they won't tell you where it's at. And they don't want you to tell... Like, if you go in there with me, I won't tell you where it's at. I have to go through the door, and it's a tunnel that goes out through...
What happens if you tell? They track down your
Well,
family?
it's a whole... Anyways, I digress. I guess I went a little bit...
I think he just had an acid trip.
I think
An ant acid trip.
I went a little bit too hard on Tom. Because I'm making fun of his shirt and his shoes, and I go, what's with those horse teeth you got up there, Tom? So... He comes off, and this is classic Jason. I went too far. He goes...
Because he's an asshole. I was right.
Dennis Leary wrote a song about him.
Roberts. So I'm like I'm like, dude, that was, he goes, he just kind of had this stunned look on his face, like he'd just been like tasered, like he didn't know what to say to me, you know, but he wanted to get across. He's like, hey man, that was, you went a little bit too far. I was like, yeah, what are you talking about, man? He's like, why'd you have to talk about my teeth? And I go, what? I was heckling. He goes, yeah, well, what?
You found the trigger.
Jesus. What'd you just call me? Let's end this.
Okay. I love Tom Clark.
Yeah, no, very funny.
He is super funny.
He's on.
Have you seen his wife perform?
No.
She's super funny.
She was supposed, they came here, and I was supposed to go, and when you're married with two terrorists at home and a beautiful wife, things don't go exactly.
Do you think it's easier or harder for guys that are married to comics? It seems like they would understand kind of you both have the same kind of schedules, but...
Yeah, it's hard to... Like, they tour together a lot, which is awesome.
I would never, ever want to be married to a comic. And I'll tell you why. Because...
It's weird. Fanny told me the same thing.
Well, she isn't.
Hello! Good morning!
Old?
Now, you're going to have to apologize for that one there.
Sorry. Sorry.
No. Apology tour just got longer.
So, I think I would get jealous. I know for sure I would get, like, if they were a better writer or if they got better gigs or whatever. Like I'm in my own little cocoon in that house. Fanny is very tuned into my career. She loves it. She loves. She loves.
See, that's perfect. Like, if you find someone that's like that,
Yeah.
I think that's great. Like, if they're all on board and they understand the lifestyle.
100%. She.
Well, there's a lot of actors that say don't marry an actor.
Yeah.
But that
Those are the best liars.
But that that's just me. I it obviously works for other. I've met many comics to date comics. Or married to comics. I actually think if I didn't have that hang up or those hang ups, that it would be because she's learned, like, okay, I don't want my wife to ever drink anymore when she comes out to see me because the first time
Starts heckling.
well no yeah
Josh Blue calls her sir.
Or no, I'll tell you why. Because we were in Dallas, and I was, you tell jokes about but you don't let the audience know they're there, because then the audience won't laugh. So when I get done, I go, oh, by the way, my beautiful wife's in back, and I had seen her at the Dallas club. It's intimate, so you can see the back of the room, but you can just see a silhouette. And then I go, and she's right, and I look, and I'm like, oh no, where'd she go? And I thought, well, she went to the bathroom. I step out of the light. My wife had laid down on the stools. And if she was here right now, she'd be like, well, I was tired. I got up early that day. It was the second show. And then just before that, I was making fun of this guy because he wasn't paying attention. And this guy, like, sometimes audience members, I don't know if he'd ever performed before, but a lot of comedy is timing. Like, you know when to deliver, you know when to hold back. This guy, because the audience went nuts when they realized she was laying down. And then, perfect, he just waits till, because I'm stunned, I'm not saying anything. It gets quiet and he goes, well, I guess I'm not the only one that thinks your show sucks. They went nuts. When you see white people stand up and move chairs, then you know you've said something funny.
It'd be funny if you did that when your wife's not there, though. Like, point to an empty seat. My beautiful wife's standing there.
She's right there.
I think Jason's lost.
Hey, sweetie.
You don't see her? Yeah, that happened. Well, I have I'll tell you this one last one. So, you've seen them. You've told the story. Have you told the story about my boys? And what Fanny did for you, or what I did for you one night?
Did we? I think we might have talked about that on the first podcast.
Yeah. So I have this.
Johnny, or?
I used to live there.
Rent free.
I have this beautiful thing that I do. I won't. That's right. We didn't tell. We don't want to tell. And I can't tell it because then I'll ruin the.
Wow,
you have a lot of comics that listen to this.
I have no clue.
Anyways, it's a little joke I do. I say, hey, have you seen a picture of my balls? I mean, a picture of my boys. I just ruined it.
Yeah.
Picture of my boys, and then you show them, your nutsack. No man on the planet, no man. I don't care what you just don't want to see that. You don't want to see another man. So she was on the road with me. I think we'd been living together 3 months, 9 months, long distance. So at this particular club, there was a lot of male servers, there's security, and I just didn't want to do it all individual. I want to so I got them all together, and I go, hey guys, I want to show you guys something. So there was I think 8 guys, right? And I go, you guys ever see a picture of my boys? And I know I got them all. They're like, no. And right when I do this, a waitress, because you never show a woman. That's now that's a serious charge, but it's not funny. It's it's an assault charge. But to guys, they know what I'm doing. So this waitress, right when I was about to show him, she looks in, she looks over, she's like, ew, those look like old man balls. Joke's over. She gets a laugh. They disperse. They're like, like you got. So all night, this woman was, I now think that she was a comic because she just had beautiful time. And she walked past us, and she came up with a new word every single time she walked past us. Like she walked by and go turkey neck, and just keep walking. And my wife I'm like, this woman is. So now it's 7 hours later, right? We're driving back to the hotel. And she goes, can I talk to you about something? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, it's about the picture you show guys. Now, he might not know this, but you've heard the stories of, I know a guy, Marvin, he met a woman at a club. They got married, had a kid, and then she goes, well, you're gonna get a real job now, right? You're like, what? What are you talking about? So, or they start critiquing your, whatever. So, I'm getting defensive in my mind. I'm like, oh, here we go. I want a guy that makes me laugh. Whoa, how's that not making you laugh? She goes, so I go, yeah, what about it? She goes, well, can you take a picture of when they're tighter? Yeah. I pulled the car over.
He's getting Botox shots ever since.
I pulled the car over, got her out of the car, hugged her. She goes, what are you doing? I go, I thought you were going to tell me to not show the picture. She goes, oh, no. She goes, I love watching how guys react. I know that they're not that saggy. I go, well, I just got out of the tub. Things are...
I sent her a picture of Dick Van Dyke. So she told Jason I sent her a dick pic. That was the idea.
Yeah, that's funny.
So Jason's like, maybe he did it on accident. Maybe we should call him. He's probably embarrassed.
Yeah.
He never once thought that I would actually do it.
No. You're going too fast. She said, "Oh my God," and she put her hand over her mouth. She sold it because I was like, "What?"
I love her even more now.
She goes, "Oh no." I go, "What?" She goes, "Jonathan just sent me a dick pic." I go, "Oh no. He wouldn't do that." Fanny, we gotta call him. He probably feels horrible. I go, we gotta call him and let him off the hook. And she goes, nah, it's Dick Van Dyke. I'm like, you son of a bitch!
She didn't even tell me or anything.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. I'm like, we gotta call him. He's probably gonna be embarrassed. He didn't mean to send that.
He's never talking to us again.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Oh, I love it.
We didn't tell you that, did we? That was funny. Because she's like, oh no.
That's great.
Oh no. I'm like, what? And she sold it too. I'm like, what? What did he do?
How funny.
She's like, John, she goes, I don't think he meant to send this. I go, Fanny, if you don't tell me, she goes, he sent me a picture of his dick. Or a dick pic or whatever. I think she had a dick pic. And then I'm like, oh yeah, he didn't mean to do that, honey. Jonathan he lives alone. Maybe this is it's a cry for help.
He probably meant to send it to Fletcher.
Possibly. That'd be you.
Fanny and Fletcher are really close.
Start with F's. Start with F's.
Oh, holy shit. Dude, it's already an hour and 20 minutes on this thing.
We're done.
I have to cut this up into 3 parts. Just like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jesus.
Call back.
Maybe we can do a prequel. Oh God. Jar Jar Binks.
All right, go see. I'm not getting paid for this endorsement. Go see Quiet Place 2.
Why don't you promote your own shows?
So, I'll be in July 29th through 31st in Wichita, the Looney Bin. And you can check out my new website, www.jasonrussell.lol. Oh, isn't that beautiful? See, because I'm a comedian.
Ah, now I get it.
LOL.
I thought it was like little old lady, Jason Russell.
And then I have my dry bar. If you guys want to check that out, go to drybar.com. Look up Beige Frosty. My wonderful. I had a great opportunity to do that. So.
I love it.
Do it. What do you want to promote anything? I know you get to every week.
Yeah.
He does it in post.
Yeah, I do sometimes. But I'll do it now, so I don't have to do anything in post. I've got shows coming up.
Jesus.
I'm pretty excited.
No, I am excited. I'm going to Oklahoma City June 9th through the 12th. And then Wichita Looney Bin June 17th through the 20th. We're actually doing a special Father's Day show, which I'm excited about. Me and Tim are going to try and write a bunch of like Father's Day material for that show. It's going to be fun. And then I'll be in Iowa, in Mason City, June 24th, and Britt, Iowa, June 25th. And then I've got some other shows.
Britt, Iowa?
Britt, Iowa.
I have friends in Mason.
It's named after a white girl?
Yep. There used to be a bar there that was their big claim to fame was, and it was a cool room. That was the last club Buddy Holly had performed at.
That's in Clear Lake.
Surf ball. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. My friends live in Mason City, so they would come over from Mason.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Richie Valens.
Fishing in Clear Lake. Yeah.
Yep. That was the last.
Is it by an airport?
Yep.
Yep.
Makes sense.
It's like a little, but the club that you would perform at, really sweet people too. I actually, like you'll do rooms where you're like, oh God, I hope that room, like a one-nighter, you hope that
June
room.
25th, Britt, Iowa.
Oops, sorry. Just kidding. I thought we were back to top.
Part 4.
It used to be Brittany, Iowa.
Yeah.
Will you end it? You're the one who has to end it.
Calm down.
God.
All right, go to the website.
Such an
funnyfletcher.com has all the other tour dates on there. I just signed up for Patreon. Go to patreon.com/InTheRyePodcast, and you can hear the podcast ahead of time before I release it anywhere else. And you can also hear it without ads on it, so that's cool. And you just pay $5 a month, and you can get that. And I'll give you a shout out on the show if you want. It's up to you. Not a big deal.
We're gonna say hi to your mother because you know she's gonna watch this. Jonathan,
she might. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi, sis.
Hey, Amy. It was Amy's birthday the other day.
Happy birthday, Amy.
Happy birthday to my sister. We got a bunch of pictures of people wearing the Amy mullet buttons, so I'm excited about that.
That is such a beautiful...
She just cusses me out when I show her pictures of Jason's stuff.
I know. When he first moved here, he sent them pictures of... And they're like, F you, Jonathan. Go to hell. Because they wanted to be here to see the daughter.
Yeah.
Now she's... We're waiting for you, man.
I know. You keep
are the
interrupting.
navigator. You're the pilot.
Yeah, so that's it for this week. Thanks to John Singleton from Anesthesia for my outro music. They're doing a CD release party in Albuquerque, June 26th. So go check that out. And thanks to Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup for intro music. And happy birthday to Bowling for Soup. They just did their 27th anniversary show, and I was there, and it was badass. So thank you.